Hey everybody, this is Charlie from Charlie Cobra Reviews, and this is going to be our review for I Am a Hero. This movie was pretty freaking awesome. At first I was a little thrown off by the appearance of the zombies, the ZQN, but after I got over it, I really began to enjoy the movie. I like how the main character, Hideo, has these hallucinations or delusions where he kind of zones out into his own little fantasy, almost a little bit Walter Mitty style. It made him quite unique when it comes to zombie movies. Also, his personality in general and how he really is a nice guy. The ZQNs themselves were also a unique take on zombies, and the whole eye thing, their eyes become the opposite of cross-eyed. They go the other way, which is called exotropia, which at first seemed to me like kind of silly, was downright freaky and upsetting later. Some zombies seemed a little fake or too crazy, but like I mentioned, once I got past that, I really got more immersed in the film. The characters that come out were pretty interesting as well, and while some were tropish, most were done in a way that didn't seem too cliche and derivative. The plot could have been better hashed out, but for having quite a bit of downtime scenes, there were equally a lot of action scenes that kept the movie going. I was actually surprised that the movie didn't take more time in developing some of the relationships between the survivors and instead used the dire circumstances and alliances to bring people together. I have to say that this is probably one of the top 5 or even top 3 zombie movies I've seen, for last year's zombie movie madness. And as well as for this year, it's really still up there. I gave it an 8 out of 10. And it did get my must-see seal of approval. So you definitely have to check this one out if you haven't. And from this point on in the review, this will be the spoiler section. So like I said, I have to say that this movie is one of the best zombie movies I've seen lately. From the beginning, I like the way that the main character, Hideo, has these little moments where he zones out and has these little fantasies where he imagines himself as being more outgoing or heroic. Even if it's just something small like the first one where he's at work and gets everyone cheering about being proud to work there, and when in reality he was just muttering to himself quietly. I really like how he's this kind of everyday regular guy who's just kind of down on his luck, doubting himself. He's not where he thought he would be career-wise, which is hindering his relationship with his girlfriend and his co-workers. His girlfriend even kicks him out because of this. She even throws out some of his stuff. He really has bad luck because as he tries to make up for the fight with his girlfriend Teko, he goes back to the apartment to find out that she's been infected by the ZQN virus, and she attacks him and nearly infects him too. The zombies or ZQNs are pretty cool too. At first I thought the whole cross-eyed look to them looked a little too silly, but as it became a signature visualization that marked when someone had become a zombie, I grew to accept it more. When his girlfriend turned, it was quite horrifying as she contorted all over the place and did everything in her power to try and eat him. She even bit the door so violently she broke off all of her teeth, which was quite lucky for Hideo because when she bit him, she didn't break the skin, infecting him. The scene when he is running through the city and everything is in chaos was one of the more memorable scenes for me because so much was going on. There were ZQNs and regular people running all over the place in all directions and cars hitting people, but the car scene with the businessman and the schoolgirl Hiromi and the taxi driver was spectacular. In fact, one of the coolest things I've seen in a zombie movie is this schoolgirl Hiromi who becomes an abnormal ZQN. She says that she was bit by a baby who was probably infected from breast milk if the mother was a ZQN. She didn't exhibit any symptoms for like 2 days, and when she turns, she doesn't attack Hideo, but instead saves him by killing a ZQN that was trying to kill him. She has one eye that looks like a zombie or ZQN and looks like she's infected, and she has crazy superhuman strength, but for some reason she has to sleep a lot. Most of the time in these survival zombie movies, the story suffers from a lack of plot structure, but a news report stating that the virus can't sustain itself at higher elevations made traveling to Mount Fuji a destination, propelling the plot further in a direction that made sense. I also like how they used foreshadowing in certain scenes, like when he finds the shopping basket with a logo of a marketplace. You can tell that that place is more than likely the next destination. I also thought it was pretty cool how Hiromi wasn't the only abnormal. You know, there was a weird grudge girl that was walking all upside down or like a spider. And then, of course, the infamous track star zombie with the crushed head. That one ran super fast and jumped really high, and it was pretty cool. One of the things I kind of didn't like was that Hideo had a gun for a lot of the movie, but never even shot it until close to the end. But I guess it did go with the character's personality and make the story more interesting. It's just a little hard to believe. Also, in my opinion, why weren't there anybody using any samurai swords on the zombies? I mean, with the ZQNs being hard to kill because you need to destroy the whole brain, cutting their heads off would have been really efficient. You know, with swords or machetes, it would have been perfect. And just because it's Japan, I don't expect there to be swords everywhere, but I'm surprised there wasn't even one. You know, like I said, this movie was just so unexpectedly good, it's hard for me to nitpick at things with it, and I'm sure there's more that bothered me, but you know, right now I just have to say I really enjoyed and liked this movie. Like I said, I give it an 8 out of 10, and it gets my must-see seal of approval. So if you haven't seen this movie, you definitely got to check it out. Thanks again for taking time out of your busy day to check out this review. Remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. This was movie number 14 of our 31 Days of Halloween Movie Challenge, so stay tuned for the next scary movie review. And remember to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.